Welcome back to the Marriott Hotel, the home of the Florida Democrats and the Florida Delegation. We're here with Representative Corrine Brown of Jacksonville in the northeast part of Florida. It's great to have her with us. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you. It's great. It's great being here with all the Florida Democrats and seeing all your friends from all over the country. And, of course, we've had the best convention. And, you know, people have been asking me about the convention. What's the difference between this convention and the one that was last week in Tampa? We got substance.
There you go.
Hard. We care. I mean, clearly, that's the difference.
How is it in your mind that the voting issues in this state, we talked to your colleague, Mr. Deutsch, a little earlier, and there have been some improvements on this issue. Where do you think it is for the African-American community, the Latino community in Florida, to make sure that their votes will be counted in November? Well,
first of all, you know, I have a lawsuit, and we go to court on September the 19th.
Okay.
I am suing to put early voting back. I mean, clearly, it was no reason to take it. It didn't save any money. Basically, it benefits the entire community. But I represent a community that the people go to work at 7, they get off at 7.
Right.
And so the weekends and the Sunday before the election, they cut out those voting dates. And it's just unacceptable. And so we are going to court, and we have it in federal court in Jacksonville, Florida.
Are you getting any help from the Department of Justice, Eric Holder and stuff?
Well, I have, of course, talked with them, and there's another lawsuit in D.C. on the same subject area that it will affect Florida, the entire state of Florida. But I couldn't wait for that ruling. That's why I went to the local federal court in Jacksonville.
You think your chances are good that there could be some movement on that in your favor?
Well, there is no question in my mind that the reason why the Republican Legislature passed the bill was to disenfranchise or dumb down African-American voters. I had Martin Luther King III in Jacksonville, and he was shocked that 47 years later, they're still trying to take the right of the vote away. It is unbelievable. You know, you should be willing to win straight up.
Well, you don't have any issues. You have to cheat.
Yeah, you cheat. And what else? You lie. And it's just amazing to me that you can just straight out lie. But the point is, Florida got a lot at stake. I represent a lot of seniors. Paul Ryan's bill, each one of them would have to pay $6,500. No scare. Read his bill. They always say, read the bill, read his proposal. It is clear what it would do for Social Security, what it would do for Medicaid, what it would do for education. I mean, we got a lot on the table in this election. And not only do we need to make sure people vote early and have an opportunity to vote, we need to make sure their vote count. And so we need to organize that and making sure that every day people that's disabled, because they will cut those programs, making sure that people understand what's at stake. I mean, I tell people all the time, what happens when failure is not an option? You just do it, and that's what we've got to do.
We talked to Representative Corrine Brown. She is a fighter for the people of Florida as we embrace the November election here. Let me ask you about Congress and Mr. Ryan as part of the Republican right-wing circus that they have embarked on since they took over the control in January of 2011. Where do you see your colleagues and gains potentially in Florida in the House on the Democratic side, and where do you see a lot of your colleagues involved in tight races? Can the Democrats win back control of the House?
Absolutely. We're only 25 seats down. But let me tell you, you asked me about Paul Ryan. You know, after he made his speech, I had to go to church and talk to my minister because I want to know, how do you just lie? I mean, just lie with a straight face. It should be, it just bothers me. It should be some truth in politics. When he said, let me tell you something, this is the part that gets me. He was talking about the $700 billion. Let's clear. That $700 billion, plug that donut hole for the seniors.
That's right.
Plug it. I mean, you should have no confusion about what happened to it. And they took that money and gave tax breaks to the billionaire friends.
That's right.
So it's the difference. You know, for 8 years, when Bush was the president, they practiced what I call reverse Robin Hood. And what that means, robbing from the poor and working people to give tax breaks to the rich. And I kept telling people, I said, well, you know, a lot of African Americans come up to me and they say, well, Corrine, you know, the Lord put Barack Obama in. I said, well, who put Rick Scott in? The Lord works through us, and we've got to do our part. And there are seats in Florida. If we work, we can turn it around. A seat here, a seat there will make all the difference in the world. And we need just 25 seats. And basically, I used to work with my Republicans colleagues. I've been on transportation and veterans, the most bipartisan bills and committees in the House of Representatives. Let me tell you something. When Newt Gingrich was the Speaker and President Clinton was the President, we passed the transportation bill over both of them that put people to work.
You sit on the Transportation Committee. I know we've had you on our morning show talking about it. You know, Mr. Micah used to be a guy who could work it. Now he's spending more time going after Eric Holder. You got, you know, many Republicans who don't talk about anything. High-speed rail. This is an area that I know that you concern yourselves very much
now
about.
You got my blood pressure going up.
Okay.
Because we passed
30,000 jobs were lost because of it.
60,000. $3 billion for Florida. I've been working on high-speed rail since the time that Bob Graham was the governor. And we got 90% funding, and the Rick Scott sent it back. Not only that, he sent back over $1 billion that would help people with the mortgage, and had to redo it. I mean, unbelievable. Sent money back for cancer research, for children. I mean, so government works, let's be clear, when the federal, state, and local work together.
I love your passion. Do you think that we have a chance, the people of Florida have a chance to get dollars back, whether it's with a new governor, whether it's through Democrats in the House, if they control the House and then Democrats control the Senate and the White House, that there could be more dollars flowing to Florida for high-speed rail?
Well, you know what? Listen. 18 states got our money. Yeah. I was talking to several of the governors and several of the mayors from other states. They're very happy with us. This was our gasoline tax dollars. 18 states putting people to work. Now, how stupid can you get? That's an example of being stuck on stupid. People of Florida, tax dollars went to 18 other states, and so I'm really a superstar in these 18 other states. Thank you, Corrine, because you have worked so hard. I had a meeting recently with 50 mayors. They want a train that will go from New Orleans to Orlando. You know, a commuter train, and we used to have the Sunset Limited, but they want to reinstate that, because basically you need to know that a train is not just economic development, it's homeland security. When we had Katrina, 3,000 people died because they couldn't get out of harm's way. So we need to think out the box. It's not just the hurricanes, but if it was a man-made attack, you got to be able to move people.
That's right.
Our competition is not Alabama, Mississippi, and Georgia. It's Europe, and it's China. And China is putting $350 billion into high speed, because they understand the importance of moving people, goods, and services. The idea that you can live in Orlando and work in Miami and get there in less than an hour and 15 minutes, 200 miles in less than an hour and 15 minutes. That's what our competitors are doing. Right. And everybody know you grow the economy. We didn't get in this mess overnight. We had 8 years of George Bush.
That's right, worst president ever.
Let me tell you what, 2 wars, 2 tax cuts, and then, you know, everything was, the banks, everything, did away with regulations, and the American economy was down. We were in a depression, really. No one wanted to call it that, but that's what it was. I mean, the hand that Barack Obama was dealt, and then with those Tea Party nuts.
That's right.
I mean, this is what we've been dealing with for the last 2 years.
Chock full of nuts.
Oh, God. And we got our share in Florida, and we need to bring them home. Bring them home.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Congresswoman, appreciate it very much.